Welcome everyone to the latest episode of the Filmhounds podcast. I'm here with Paul and I'm here with David, but more importantly, we're here with Becky. And we're going to be talking all things coming up in the horror genre. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But we'll also be discussing right now what we've been watching. So take it away.
Can I ask a question? Did you not say Becky's surname because you don't know how to pronounce it?
No, just
That's
saying
I didn't say it last
Sayce.
time. She called me out on it, so I'm just
You
Nice.
took the words out of my mouth. I was going to do the same thing again.
yeah.
I wasn't doing like surnames. I wasn't doing surnames this time around. I was just
Okay,
being
All pals
fun.
here.
keeping it light.
Yeah.
I went to the cinema. No dramas this week. No dramas. I saw Novocaine, and as I always say, I went in with low expectations. I think that's just the way I go in with life now. And it was okay. It was a good film. Nothing to write home about, but I think we need more films like that. It wasn't the best in the world. It wasn't the worst in the world.
I think I do agree with you because there's a lot of films I've seen lately where I'm like, yeah, 3 stars. It's not great, but I enjoyed it.
It was.
I mean, yeah, why not?
Was it
It's that kind
that
of
that
vibe.
star that just says "You tried"?
Good effort. Is that a C? If we did, no, maybe we should rate. Oh, do schools don't even rate with letters? That's the word. Letters
No,
anymore,
it's
do they?
numbers, isn't it? Or percentages? I actually don't know.
I'm disappointed.
Just
Letterbox.
emojis. Just emojis.
I
If you get an F, it's just the shit emoji.
I
What's a
was
U then? What's the U equivalent if it's not the shit emoji? The
Just
RIP, the coffin.
R.I.P. Skull face.
No, you is just the shrug emoji. It's the eggplant with the little splash of water because you are wank.
Oh,
Filth.
just brought
Have
that
you
down.
have you seen it, Becky?
I have, yeah. I thought much the same. It was just sort of, it's okay. It wasn't bad. It was fun. And sometimes you do just want to sit, watch something, tune out a little bit without really digging deep into anything.
It wasn't funny as I'd hoped. It wasn't as violent as it could have been. It was just in the middle, which is fine. Some people would say this podcast is not that violent enough, not not sweary enough. But yeah,
It's
Well,
the shrug
that-
emoji of the
Just reckon.
podcast.
Yeah. Put that on your poster, you dickheads.
I've not seen Novocaine. I'm the outlier here. I do like the tagline though. What is it? Nathan Kane. He feels no pain. I like that because it reminds me of Super Cop. Meet the cop that can't be stopped. And I think that the art of a good tagline is missing. But yeah, I've not seen it. But so he can just not feel pain, but he's not immortal. He's not Deadpool.
No spoilers. But no,
Okay.
he's not Deadpool. He's not Deadpool.
So
It's just
he's like
Deadpool.
so is he like the bad guy from Deadpool 1 where he's like, oh, I don't feel pain, but then it's like, okay, but just because you don't feel pain, you can still die though. So like
Yeah.
not feeling the problem with a lot of these films, I don't know if Novocaine does this, maybe you can answer, is that they go, oh, this character doesn't feel pain, therefore he is invincible. And it's like, no. Just because you don't feel pain doesn't mean you're invincible. You're still a normal human. You just don't realize that you're on fire, but you're still going to burn to death.
Yeah,
But-
basically that.
Okay.
No, he might die at the end, Paul. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I didn't wait
Okay.
around after the credits. Maybe he died in the credits, but yeah.
That's a massive spoiler, David. I've actually not seen Novocaine either, by the way. But
Oh, he might
there,
die.
Oh, for some
There
reason I
is-
thought you had. Sorry.
no, I haven't. I'm also the outlier. There's a character in the TV show Haven that has the exact same abilities. So I was just wondering if there was like some influence from
Haven.
the Stephen King inspired TV series that is Haven. Glorious show. Don't know how it lasted 5 seasons, but it did.
Was that with Anthony Michael Hall?
It had edge
No.
in, didn't it? The wrestler.
It did have yes, it did have the edge. Yeah.
Not the
He was
edge.
actually pretty good, to be honest. He comes in season 2 and he's like as the handyman. He also has an ability, very unfortunate one. But yeah, one of the main characters, his ability is he can't feel anything. And there's an episode where I think they're in like a place where you could get really hot for some reason, and they're just like, Nathan, get your hand off that. And
Sauna.
like, you could get burned. He's like, can't feel it though. It's like, yeah, but you could still get hurt.
You can
It
still
doesn't
die
matter.
though. Like
Yeah,
you
pretty
can
much.
still get third-degree burns. You're not invincible. You
Yeah.
just don't feel pain.
Yeah.
Did you go to a screening this week, Katie?
I did go to a screening. Speaking of feeling pain, I went to see Warfare.
4DX film? No?
4DX? No?
Oh, okay. Thought it was.
No. Is that a game? No, sorry.
It's
Don't know.
the cinema where the chairs will rock
Oh,
around and fire
do you know
fires
what?
at your face.
You know, if there's a little bit of water, it spurts you with water, and if there's a little bit of
Yes.
sand, they throw some sand in your face.
So sand in your
It's
face.
just sad. Do you know, my friend went to see Twister on a 4D cinema, and they said that was worth it. But no, Warfare, I think, would have been absolutely horrendous in a 4D cinema.
Because
It
they
would,
shoot
oh my
you.
God. Yeah,
They
and
just shoot you in the head.
and then you get blood everywhere. So you're gonna get lots of things squirting at you, like dust throwing at you, screaming. Oh my God. But yeah, Warfare was very interesting. I know there's already a review out on Filmhounds at the moment. Um, and I rather do agree with the writer in some parts. But yeah, Warfare, it's the new A20, there's always a new A24 film. But yeah, it's a new A24 film from Alex Garland, which was also, but it's also co-directed and co-written by Ray Mendoza, whose character is also in the film, because Warfare is actually based on a real experience, and the script was pulled together from all the people who were there's memories. So Alex Garland, who was there at the screening, actually explained this all, like, because the tagline was like, it's all about memories, or everything is from memory. And he was like, just to explain, this is what the actual film is about. And without that explanation, it would have been, oh, sorry, David, did you want to say something?
Yeah. You say pull from their memory. It sounds like a sci-fi film.
It's not.
Okay.
I mean, they probably just recounted their memories of this horrific event, and they just put it all on into script form. So no fun twist, and actually it's a sci-fi film. No, it's literally just about a horrific event that happened in Ramadi, and I may be incorrect about the location, but yeah, it's set in real time as well. So there's a unit and they basically take over a house, and then they are ambushed, and then you just kind of you're along with these guys through everything, through them just sitting around waiting for stuff to happen, through a bomb going off and people getting very severely injured, and you get to see everything. And I mean a very graphic injuries. Yeah, even I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit much. And there's something more horrific about seeing these kind of, like, this gory kind of stuff in a war film than in a horror, if you know what I mean. Because you're just like, this is based on memory, so this really happened to someone. This is horrible. But yeah, so Warfare's it's an interesting film. It's an interesting concept, but at the end of the day, who is this film actually for? Which is what our review actually, like, questioned. Who is this film for?
Yeah.
Apart from A24. But yeah, so Warfare, everyone. It's out currently. If you like, oh no, it's not. It's out in a couple of weeks, I think. But if you like war films, I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it, or you'll get something out of it. But for anyone else, you might be sitting there questioning, why am I sitting here watching an hour and a half of some horrible things happen to people?
If I wanted that, I could watch Loose Women.
I guess the name might be a giveaway. So if you're going to the cinema and it says Warfare, like you know you want to watch this film or not.
Yes, but also the cast is very tempting, because the entire cast is very good, even if they only have a few lines, or if they're just screaming on the floor for about half an hour. They're all very good. They're so, like, it's a vast cast, you know, of who's who of the second tier actors, I'm gonna say, not top tier, second tier. That's not to say that they're not as good as the top tier. I'm just saying, like, in demand. Like it's
Yeah.
got Will Poulter in it, Kit Connors, Cosmo Jarvis, um, what's his name? Joseph Quinn, jo that actor Melton.
Oh, Charles Melton.
Yes, him. Yeah, he's very good in it.
Very
He's not in
handsome
it that much, but
boys.
he's very good.
Cool.
Yeah,
Is it
so
a homoerotic film?
no, it is definitely not
Okay,
homoerotic.
because a lot of the promotion. No. It's just. Have you guys seen that clip of them doing like a Q&A and they're all just like
No.
kissing each other?
I was just thinking this. They're calling each other daddy and top, and
Yeah, and they're like it's like Will Porter's there like sucking his finger, and then like two of them are kissing, and it's like the fuck is this movie, man? You're promoting it by Kit Connor and Charles Melton like kissing each other. It's like, what is this, Top Gun?
I thought that was just your go-to question after every review of a film.
Is it homoerotic?
Wait, yeah. No, it's not. The Q&As are probably going to have more homoeroticism in them than the film.
It's also quite
Uh,
funny that Alex Garland's directing after Civil War when he went, I hate directing, I don't want to do it anymore.
Just war films now. Just war films.
It's just Civil War warfare, yeah.
mm, I'm just worried that he's going to do a third installment of his war trilogy, war films.
War Who, what
Trend.
is it good for? Absolutely nothing. A film by Alex Garland.
So, Becky, one of the reasons why I was desperate to have you back on,
Because we love you.
yeah, because we love you for one, but also you were going to reveal who the latest cover star is of the print issue of Filmhounds because
yes.
you spoke to
So
them.
our next cover star, we have got Sean Baker, the director of Anora, who we spoke to in conjunction with the physical release that Criterion are doing, which sounds amazing from what he said about it. I can't wait to get my hands on that. But yeah, the next issue's coming. It's got a lot of great stuff in it. Just looking through it when we were all proofing it, it's a real good issue. I'm very excited for people to read it.
There's a hell of a lot of Becky's work in it, and it's amazing.
I love a lot of me yapping at people.
Yes. Yes, somebody's flexed their deputy editor muscles.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that feature by so-and-so is good, but you know what would be even better? A feature by deputy editor Rebecca Sayce.
It was only meant to be Robert Eggers at first, which was a great chat. I was very, very, very excited about that. But then we got a very last minute email like, hey, do you fancy talking to Sean Baker? I thought, who's gonna say no? It was such a casual email. But it was very fun.
This was after he won all the Oscars as well, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. This was from when I did it. I think I'd got an email like 4 days before, something like that. So yeah, it was well after the Oscars.
Oh no, that's really good. I really enjoyed reading that, and that will be out soon. And the reason why I wanted you to announce it on the podcast is to see if any of the writers come to us and say that's really good. See if anyone's listening.
Here's hoping. We'll
Yes,
chuck them out of
it's a
chuck them out of the
test.
group. If not. Right, so what you've got me here to talk about today, and sort of coming in from what we've just been talking about, films we've seen this week, and what we're here to talk about are upcoming horror films of the year. As the 2025 horror calendar kicked off the year pretty strong already, with Nosferatu, Wolfman, The Monkey, Opus, and Presents, but we've still got a lot coming this year. I mean, just today we've got Death of a Unicorn, the latest film, or rather, what I should say, the feature debut from Alex Schaffman, new A24 film, bringing it back round to Katie talking about warfare. It's also got Will Poulter in it, Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, Richard E. Grant, and yeah, has anyone else seen it? Yeah.
Nope.
Oh yes.
I have seen it. Yes, I have.
What did you guys think? Because I saw it and I reviewed it for the website as well. But I'm keen to hear what other people thought of it.
Okay. So following on from Opus, where I was just sort of like, I like this film. I think people aren't going to like it, but I think it's a solid 3 and it's fun and I enjoy it, but I can see why people don't like it. It's kind of the same thing with Death of a Unicorn. It's that feeling of I feel like I've seen this before, probably with a different animal and probably like similar characters, but the unicorn aspect
Yeah.
is the hook. But as the crappy UK poster says, payback is a beast, which is the lamest tagline I've seen for a film that's got a unicorn in it. It's just, and also the image of like the unicorn's mouth and then Jenna Ortega just looking scared. It is the most basic of basic posters where they could have done a lot to it to make it seem actually much cooler than it probably is. But they were like, no, let's lean into the mediocre side of this. And it's it's run of the mill, but I enjoyed it for what it was because well, mainly because I was just very much enjoying Richard E. Grant's character
Yeah,
throughout the whole
absolutely.
thing.
What did you think, Paul?
Yeah, I'm much the same. I enjoyed it very much. I felt the political aspect of it about pharmaceuticals
Hmm.
was too broad. Um, there were a couple of good pointed. What is it? General Ortega says something like, "Charity is like farming for kudos" or something to that effect, which was quite good. I think she's good. I love Paul
Yeah.
Rudd. Always have, always will. Yeah, Richard E. Grant does get all the best lines and costumes and everything. I just think, yeah, it was fine.
Is he playing Richard E.
Yeah.
Grant as he usually
Yeah,
does? Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. No. He's like how much Richard E. Grant, none more Richard E. Grant. Yeah, no. As the trailer and the radio advert say, and
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant. They emphasis the and. Will Poulter's good in it though. I thought
Yeah,
he's very funny.
absolutely.
But
I
yeah,
agree. I agree.
I
He's
felt
very
it was
funny.
slightly too long. I started to lose. I felt like it outstayed its welcome. I was a bit like, all right, guys, time to wrap up now. We've been here long enough. There's only so much mileage out of a unicorn, ripping people in half before you go, oh,
Yeah.
we've been here a bit too long.
I sure unicorns are usually target as like 4-year-olds, 4-year-old girls. So I mean, surely they could have gone with something else for grown-ups.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what.
like the idea of it. Like I agree with Katie and Paul. It was exactly how I felt about it. It's very and I think it's a shame because I think the premise is really unique, it being a unicorn horror film. And they have like sort of changed up how the creatures look, so it's not exactly what you'd expect when, you're going into Primark and walking past all the unicorn merchandise for little girls. It is very different. It it just doesn't feel like it lives up to like when the first trailer dropped. I was really excited. I thought this is going to be a really good film. It seemed really funny. It seemed like there was going to be a lot of gore, a lot of action in it, and it just doesn't really seem to know what sort of film it is ever in it. So it never really reaches the expectations. I felt much the same with The Monkey when that came out. I felt like it wasn't funny enough, wasn't gory
Yeah,
enough, wasn't enough action, and it was fine. And that's exactly how I felt about this.
I think the unicorn design is an issue because it looks more
Massively.
because I feel like from the premise, death of a unicorn, they kill a unicorn, and then the mummy and daddy unicorn start coming and killing everyone. If it looked like My Little Pony fucking people up, that's funny. Like the concept of a unicorn that you would see in Primark that like little girls and boys might have, like spearing Will Poulter or something, or spearing someone and then flinging them across the room. That's really funny. But when it looks like a monster, it's like, oh, it's fine. But like the joke was a unicorn. This doesn't look like a unicorn. This looks like
Yeah.
it
I
looks
love
like
the
a
fact
skinny
that
rhino. So it's
it's
not as
Skinny
good.
Rhino.
It's a skinny rhino. That's what it looks like.
I was gonna say, I love how like everyone's mentioned Primark as being the number one place to get your unicorn products.
Well,
I
whatever.
mean,
Well,
Claire's accessories, that's probably pretty good. W.H. Smith's.
but yeah, no, it was fine. It was. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But
yeah.
yeah,
After Death of a Unicorn, though, it does look like the rest of April, we've got quite a lot to look forward to, like horror and genre-wise. We've got Drop coming next week on April 11th, the latest film from Christopher Landon, who, of course, we know from Freaky, Happy Death Day, Paranormal Activity. They're sort of techno horror about a woman who is receiving mysterious drops on her phone and has to either kill a date or her son gets killed. Then, exactly a week later, we've got Sinners, the new Ryan Coogler vampire film with Michael P. Jordan playing twins. And then, again, another week later, we've got Until Dawn on April 25th, the film based on the video game, which I'm quietly quite optimistic about. I think that looks better than I initially thought it would be. But I mean, what are you guys excited for out of those drops, Sinners, Until Dawn, or none?
I saw the trailer for Drop, and it looks like cringy as hell to me. Like, I
I
don't know.
liked it.
Did you?
I
liked the
liked
trailer.
it too.
Until the end, when I think the trailer shows too much.
Spoils it,
I
yeah.
don't
Mm-hmm.
because for the most part it's like, yeah, she's getting scary messages, drops, do this, do this, do this. Oh, is it someone in the place? Is it this? And then it reveals the big action finale, and it's like, oh well,
Yeah.
you kind of spoiled the third act. That would have been the fun bit, but
I'll still watch it. I'll still want to know like why she ends up out the window. But I was going to say, I felt like that for Sinners because I was very much excited for Sinners until I saw a trailer today where I was like, oh, it's vampires.
yeah, did you not know that?
Oh no, see, I'm excited. We've kicked off 2025 with Nosferatu, a great vampire film. And I
Yes, I agree
really
with that.
enjoy vampire films. I saw a really, really good one at Fright Fest Glasgow this year, which again was my favorite film there. So I think we're in a bit of a vampire renaissance at the minute. So I'm excited for this. And the cast is great. I like Ryan Coogler as well. The trailer looks spooky.
Was there a trailer that didn't have vampires in it? Because I feel
The
like I've saw the
first
trailer.
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. I just thought I was going crazy.
I feel like the whole thing when they were promoting it was like, Ryan Coogler is doing a vampire movie with Michael B. Jordan.
I missed that. I got
Ah.
from it. I thought it was going to be kind of like spooky demons, like some kind of magic. And also to be fair, in my other life, my job, I read a lot of scripts and it's always just like, and it's vampires. And I'm like, okay, how many times can you do twist? It's a vampire. So that's why I was like, oh, it's vampires. But saying all
Well,
that, I did like Nosferatu, I very much enjoyed.
yeah, it was good.
That's a different caliber of vampire, though, to be fair. But
True.
yeah.
Until Dawn, I don't quite get, because I mean, I don't really like. I'm not a big computer game player. I do play video games, but not a lot. But I always thought the whole appeal of Until Dawn is that you could play it 50 times, and all 50 times would be completely different. So, like, isn't I'm going to sound like such an old man? Isn't the engine of the game that that whatever you
Yeah.
do, that person, when you play it the first time, that character might die, and it might be because of a demon, and then this might happen. But the second time you play, if you go left, this might happen.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how you can do that in a film, where film is very A leads to B leads to, like, I just don't know how you can do the appeal of that game. It's a bit like if you did, I don't know, like a game adaptation of Red Dead Redemption. Half the appeal of Red Dead
Yes.
Redemption is spending 17 hours just riding a
Yeah.
horse around the wilderness, collecting cigarette cards and
And I
shooting
would
people.
watch
How do you
that.
do that in a movie?
So, from what I gather, I've got the synopsis for it here actually. It says 1 year after her sister disappeared, Clover and her friends head to the remote valley where she vanished to search for answers. Exploring an abandoned visitor centre, they soon encounter a mass killer who murders them one by one. However, when they mysteriously wake up at the beginning of the same night, they're forced to relive the terror over and over again.
There we
So
go.
I think it's sort of emulating the games, as in like when you fuck up and kill a character, it's then starting again, like almost starting the level again or starting the
Right.
cutscene again.
Okay.
So I'm quite interested in it. The trailer sold it to me.
Okay.
When I first saw the idea of it, I thought, oh no. Because again, the cast was so good for the video game, like having Rami Malek as the main and stuff.
Is
Brilliant. And I don't think the cast is quite as, it's not as well known this time round. But
Back Stormari, didn't they? Peter Stormari's
yes,
back.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's
But
Sandberg who is good.
yeah,
David F. Sandberg is a good horror director. So
yes. Well, I love Lights Out, so I'm quietly optimistic about it. I think it'll be good, and I love the game. So either way,
Is the gimmick covering up for a basic film, though?
could
yes,
be, could be. But I mean,
Probably.
if they can make it work and elevate a fairly
yeah.
basic plot, I mean, we've seen, the same demonic plots over and over again, and I'm still going to be there on opening day for every single one. I
To
do
be
like
Yeah.
fair,
seeing something a little bit different. That's why you've got me here.
what you've described sounds an interesting way to deal with the problem of the game, which is,
Yeah.
like I say, because a lot of those games, like was it Beyond Human and all those, there's a lot of games where the appeal is play it 50 times, you get 50 different, which I don't particularly enjoy in games. I like an open world where I can spend
Yeah.
17 hours just, like I say, riding my horse, collecting crap.
I
Yeah.
I tried Cyberpunk earlier. But it was like a few years too late, and I just was driving around shooting people. I don't know what the story's about. Just exploring the world.
And say I don't play computer games at all. The only one I've played is Tintin on Wii and Moomin
Get a
Valley. So
You need to
You're
get a
such an
life.
old woman.
I do have a life. It's in Moomin Valley. I play
No.
Snufkin and
Get a
I'm very
life and
happy.
get a
It's
PlayStation.
it's in a little place called Animal Crossing where all my friends live, and life is easy.
Even that, nah, man. I literally have just played this, and it's only because my other half he does play games, and he bought those two for me.
But then after April, we are going into May. And then the next thing we've got is Clown in a Cornfield on May 9th, based on the 2020 novel of the same name by Adam Cesar. It's had great reviews out of South by Southwest. And then we have got a week later on May 14th, the latest Final Destination film, Bloodlines, sixth film in the franchise, the last film of the late Tony Todd. And we've been told it's going to go in a very different direction to the other films. So we could be seeing something a little bit different from, the well-loved franchise. And then we're ending the month on the latest film from Danny and Michael Filippo. I think I've said that right, which is Bring Her Back, which we don't know too much about, but we have had a new trailer for it this week, which sort of showed that it's a brother and a sister. There's a ritual in their home, a creepy foster mother, but that's following their 2022 film Talk to Me. So, are there any titles for this month that you guys are excited for?
Bring her back.
Yeah.
Bring her back.
Just
Bring her back.
the only one of the year that I need. I will be day one, midnight, 1 minute past midnight, breaking into the cinema for the first screening. Although Clown in a Cornfield, I've got to say, that was one that I didn't think I would be excited for. But after reading all the reviews coming out of South by Southwest, it sounds really good.
I'm terrified of clowns.
I was literally about to say, is anyone really scared of clowns? And you are scared of clowns.
I'm terrified of clowns so much. Like
My husband doesn't like clowns either.
Coulrophobia.
that trailer came up, I was just like, so I was skipping this. And I was going to say, so it's based on, I didn't know it was based on a book. So, because I was like, oh, what a basic title. Clown in a Cornfield does exactly what it says on a tin.
Yeah, I've never read the book.
Knowledge.
Apparently it's great though. I've not read the book yet. It's on my to be read list, but apparently it's really good. So I don't know. Again, the trailers and stuff for that, it sold it to me a lot more. It does look like, bit of a run-of-the-mill slasher, but it knows it is, and I feel like when films know they are, that's when you can do something more fun and creative with it.
And Final Destination, you say that it's going in a different route. Do you think it's not going to be a horror film? It's just going to be like a musical or a
Rom-com.
rom-com. Yeah.
I don't know. From what I've read in interviews about it, it's the traditional formula of what we know from Final Destination, where it's like event at the start, they
Yeah.
save themselves from death, picking them off one by one, action sequence at the end, seems like they're saved, but they're not saved. Apparently, they're not doing that this time around. Well, that's what I gather.
Okay.
They're mixing the formula up a little bit. And the trailers seem to suggest it as well. It does look like it's a family and the matriarch of the family has been keeping them safe from death. And then death finally starts coming for them, obviously, like with
Yeah.
bloodlines in the title as well. And they've said we're going to know a little bit more about Bloodworth in this one, which I think is really fitting with it being Tony Todd's last film. So
Yeah,
again, this is the other one that I'm really excited for. I love the Final Destination films.
so do I. The trailer kind of had it that years ago the grandmother, was it the grandmother,
Yeah, yeah.
was in one of those premonition things and survived, and so death as a concept is angry because uh all her children and grandchildren shouldn't exist because she should have died. So I think that's an
That's a
interesting
cool
concept, that
concept.
there's all these lives that have now, one person surviving this thing has led to like 20 other people existing, and death is now gunning for them. I think it's quite an interesting route to go, and I enjoy. I like. Did you guys ever play the board game Mousetrap growing up?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what this is. This is
Yeah.
just Mousetrap, but instead of a little basket going over a plastic mouse, someone gets their head caved in, or someone gets decapitated, or somebody gets stabbed in the neck or something. And I love that. And you know, yeah, I love the Final Destination movies. They're so dumb, but some of those deaths, the sunbed in
Yes.
Final
Don't.
Destination's great.
Oh my God,
So,
And I
don't.
mean, the deaths we've had in the trailers so far, like the first one where they've got like, the piercing getting hooked, and the ones in the new trailer as well, they're
oh, the bar,
good.
yeah.
Like
No,
for me with my piercings, I was like, oh,
yeah,
watching that first
yeah,
teaser
no,
trailer.
I got to be
yeah, no,
honest.
I'm very excited for that.
I don't think I've ever seen one, so I need to watch all
Really?
five.
Not
I
even
don't.
the first one.
I don't think
First
so. Do you know? I've. How old is it? Because for some reason I might be confusing it on
25 years
25 this
years.
year, isn't it? I think it was last
this year.
month.
2000. Yeah.
For some reason I remember watching The Big Breakfast, and they were like, "There's a new film out, and you can apply to see tickets for this film before it comes out." And I think it was that, and I was
It's
definitely too young, and so
the
I almost
first
saw
one
it,
is
but I
the
didn't.
first one is very 2000 in that it's got Sean William Scott and Ali Larter.
And
Do
Devon
you
And
get
Devon
Sawa.
and
Sawa.
Devon? Oh yeah,
Sawa.
and
Yeah.
Devon Sawyer. Yeah, like you don't get more that than Stifler, that blonde one that was in everything, and Stan from the Eminem video. It's like that is none more 2000s, please.
You are
We used to
selling it
make
to me.
real movies.
Yeah,
That deserves
no,
a wait. Is there so
fuck you,
speaking
Steve.
of
Fuck you, Steve.
so speaking of 25, so it's 25 years this year it would have come out.
Yeah.
So
hmm
it's a big anniversary.
I
So
wasn't born. That's why I haven't seen it. I was.
the
They're all
lies, the
great.
lies.
It's what's interesting about the Final Destination films is the first one is overtly supernatural. Like there are some deaths,
Mm,
like I think it's when the teacher dies. No, it's when the guy gets hanged in his bathroom by the dental floss, and the
yes,
water
yeah.
from under the toilet seeps out, and then when he dies, it recedes on its own. So it's overtly supernatural. Whereas in later ones, it's like it's a freak accident that she was on the pommel horse, and then the bolt dropped, and then the pin did that, and then the thing did that. Although that pommel horse death in 5
So
is
good.
fucking great. As for what was it? Bring Her Back. I didn't really rate Talk to Me that much.
You're breaking my heart here, but it's
Do you know
one
what it
of my
was? No, do you know what
favorites
it
of the
was?
last 10 years.
It was a long leg situation. It's the scariest film I've ever seen. It's so scary. I had a heart attack and died, and it brought me back to life and
Yeah,
killed me again. And then I watched it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's alright. It's
yeah.
alright."
Festival and
Also,
screening brain is a real thing. It
so
does
I like.
ruin
Don't get me
films.
wrong. I enjoyed it, and some of the jumps in it, the bit where the kid like does his face in, shook me, and the opening scene shook me up. But by the end of it, I was a bit like, I don't. Spoilers, but I don't like it when someone goes through hell and then doesn't win. I'm like, she
Oh no,
deserved
I
to win.
do.
I
But
thought
I'm
that was
She
evil.
deserved to win.
good. That makes it different because, it can't be okay at the end of every film where somebody gets through something. Not everyone's
Yeah,
going to come out
but I
clean.
did.
That's why I liked. That's not the reason why I liked it. The concept and everything
It is
about
the
it.
reason why I liked it.
The ending.
Well, I'm with
She
you.
was
I think
screwed.
these girls are evil. I thought that when we started,
Psychopaths.
but now
Psychopaths.
they've
Yeah,
admitted it.
yeah.
But
Nutters.
It's a great
Both of them.
concept.
Just love cruelty in films. Anyway, going into summer, June, we're starting, or rather ending very strong. 'Cause on June 20th, we've finally got a new 28 Years film, 28 Years Later, where we've got the
Yeah.
return of Danny Boyle, we've got Alex Garland back writing, Cillian Murphy attached somehow, but apparently not that zombie in the trailer.
Yeah, it's too obvious,
And
isn't it?
then a week later, we've got Megan 2.0, which we've also had the trailer for this week, where we've got Megan fighting for the side of good this time, helping Gemma fight an evil robot named Amelia that has got the same technology as Megan. Two two very different films. I think it'll make a very strange horror double bill if they're still in cinemas at the same time.
That trailer for 28 Years Later is the best trailer ever. Possibly. It's so good. I've watched that trailer. It's got like 70,000 views, and I think I'm 55,000 of those views. It's so good. Boots, 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 boots. Oh, it's great. I cannot wait. I love the 28 franchise. And yeah, I can't wait. My sister is so hyped because it comes out around her birthday, and she's like, "We are going to see 28 Years Later." But like, I just remember my dad. Like, it freaked my dad out so much. And as a kid, when something freaks your dad out, you're like, "I must see this.
Yeah.
I must see this film." And yeah, I'm very excited. And Megan, I loved it. I loved it.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree. I'm a huge 28 Years fan as well. The trailer is scary. Like, it's not very often
Love
that
it.
trailers really freak me out, but yeah, I agree. The trailer's fantastic for 28 Years Later. I feel like because they've spent so long doing it and making sure they've got the story right, we're really going to have a treat on our hands. And if the world premiere isn't in the UK, I'm going to be very angry. We never get the world premieres. They're always in the US. I'm going to be gutted if we don't get it
Not
here with it
for a
being a
film
British
this
film.
British.
It's a
It is
British film.
British.
It will be here. It has to
Yeah.
be here. It doesn't make. Also, Danny
Project
Boyle,
it
like
on the
he'll
side.
be like flying the flag for like have it in the UK. But I was gonna say I agree with the music for the trailer for that. Something about old timey music or old like something that's obviously made from like the 30s or something like that kind of eerie creepiness. Yet it weirdly I don't know how to describe it. You know, when you're sort of like you got a call to war, but you're sort of like, oh my God. You kind of like sit up and go, yeah, I'm gonna be there. Boots, yes.
It's like the
So
tiptoe through the tulips, isn't it? And Insidious, like creepy, horrible Tiny Tim music.
with me? Ugh.
That
This is
song
so
is haunting
creepy.
on its own, though, that tulips
Yeah,
one.
it is. Especially when you see Tiny Tim, because he's like 6 foot. He's like fucking massive as well. His massive geezer with a he looks like a bloated Alice Cooper with a ukulele. He's terrifying.
Oh my God.
I want to watch Jeepers Creepers again, just from the music. You know, do you remember that?
Jeepers,
I like that song.
creepers,
So
where'd you
annoying.
get those peepers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Megan looks like the Terminator 2 of yassified Chucky. Like,
Oh, that's the tagline.
like she's gonna at the yassified Chucky Terminator 2. Like at the end, she's gonna be like, "I know now why you cry. It's something I could never do. Bye."
No, I agree.
This
I
gives like a
love
peace sign as she lows into the thing. I can't wait. I love Mithrigan is so good. I love it so much.
Mithrigan.
Mithrigan.
That's what it's called. It's called Mithrigan.
Mithrigan.
No, I
Seven,
completely
Fantastic,
agree.
Mithrigan.
Megan was fantastic. A real surprise, I think. I'm really glad they had the viral videos to really drum up that attention for the film because it felt like such an event. And this looks like it's really leaned into the silly aspects of the film. And sometimes you just need that. Like we were saying, you just need something fun, silly. You don't need to think too much about. You go with your friends, you get massively overpriced snacks, and you sit there and you howl laughing at a film.
Oh God, because I remember I went to the press screening of the first Mithrigan, and I was howling with laughter. Just all of it. The bit where she does the dance, the bit where she like is running on all fours after the little kid. It's so dumb. And this one looks like they're like, let's do that, but even dumber and make her the good guy this time, so it's even dumber. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be brilliant. I'm just so up for it. I'm up for the seriousness of 28 years later and the campness of Mithrigan 2.0.
They haven't gone for a Barbenheimer, have they? It's like a week apart.
Yeah.
It might cross over a little though. I mean, I know we do
Yeah.
get films in cinemas at the moment for like 28 seconds and that's it. But we
Oh, yeah.
might get a little overlap.
28 years later it's going to be in, isn't it? For a while.
I
You
hope
would
so.
hope. You would hope.
Maybe.
I was going to say at the cinema today, because I saw Death of a Unicorn literally today, and there was about 10 people in the screening, quite sad, even though we were saying it's an okay film. But there was like 100 children just going to see Minecraft. Sorry, teenage boys just going to see Minecraft.
They'd crawled out of their mother's basement to watch Minecraft.
Sorry to jump in to the horror section, but is Minecraft as bad as I've heard? As none of you seen it?
No,
No one dies, so
Oh, no.
Becky's not seen it.
alas, not seen it.
Yeah, no one dies, not a sad ending, not interested.
They don't have the eyes ripped out their head, so no, not watching it.
It's PG. We're not watching that.
Okay.
The only casualty is Jack Black's reputation.
Hmm.
It looks. Look, I've never played Minecraft. I'm not 13. My kid is too young for Minecraft, so I can skip it.
Right, okay. So rounding out the summer, we've only got one title in July so far. We've got I Know What You Did Last Summer on July 18th, which is the fourth film in the franchise, and apparently acts as a direct sequel to the 1998 original, which I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do it with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. reprising their roles, but 30 years later. But we shall see. Then we start August on August 1st with Together with real life married couple Dave Franco and Alison Brie. It's a couple that move to the countryside, triggering a supernatural incident, altering their relationship, existence, and physical form. It's been raved about out of Sundance, and that seems to be the very buzzy title of this summer, alongside Toxic Avenger, which we get on August 29th, based on the DC comics, I want to say, of the same name. It stars Peter Dinklage, Jacob Tremblay, Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon. It follows like a mutant vigilante called Toxie, who's cleaning up the streets from corrupt CEOs, gangsters, any number of bad, awful people. It premiered at Fantastic Fest back in 2023, but it was deemed unreleasable, like due to its apparently the graphic content and the premise of the film. But it's now been rescued by Cineverse, and we're finally getting a cinema release. Or the US is, I'm not 100% sure on the UK. I'm pretty sure we're getting it on the same date. So, again, some very, very different titles end in the summer.
This whole list is useful for me because a lot of these films don't sound like they're going to be horrors, and as I do not want to be surprised, so I'm glad that you've told me these are all horror films.
You don't want another Bones and All situation.
No. So yeah, this I should always read the synopsis before I go to film, but I don't like spoilers either. It's hard life, isn't it?
Or logline, or just read like what genre is this film, and then go, right, okay, don't go see this.
Look at the age rating. If it's a 15, chances are it's a horror. There's not many other 15
That's
rated
the
films in
point.
cinemas these days.
Film festivals, it's hard though, isn't it? Because you don't have an age rating usually. That's where I get got.
You
Oh.
get got with the finger eating. Yeah,
Finger
I
into
know.
it.
I Know What You Did Last Summer is a weird one because the original, even though it's got the love of my life, Sarah Michelle Gellar in it, it's not actually that good. Like
No.
the idea is it's weird because the idea you do something and a year later someone is saying, "I know you guys did something, and I know what you did," and then the paranoia of is my best friend turning on me? Is my boyfriend turning on me? Is this guy that could be a really dark, paranoid thing. But the original is kind of pants, except for that great bit where Jennifer Love Hewitt runs into the street and is like screaming, "What are you waiting for?" That's the only good bit of which then Scary Movie does, and she gets hit by the car. That's the only good bit.
I Know What You Did Last Summer is the one with the fisherman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hook. Yeah.
Hook,
Yeah, with
yeah.
the hook.
Yeah, I think from what I remember, it's a long time ago. I quite enjoyed it. I
I
don't.
honestly don't
It's
remember.
it's fun. It opens with Sarah Michelle Gellar in a swimsuit. That's it. That's all you,
That's all that happens.
So you can remember.
then there's some crap about a hook, and then I don't know. There's some writing on in some steam, and then the end credit. I don't know. I kind of passed out.
We are getting a lot of 90s and noughties reboots this year. So I
I
do feel
mean,
like it's going to be one that sort of falls by the wayside a little bit. But then you can be surprised by those. I feel like we've not got as much fanfare around this as we have like The Return of Final Destination, and then there's a couple of sequels coming, which I'll come to in a little bit because they're towards the end of the year. So I feel like this one could be a bit of a hidden gem. I
If
hope so.
I watch all these new Scream films, they're absolutely fine. If it's something like that, I think it'll be quite good. So I wouldn't mind
Well,
it.
it's interesting because the original I Know What You Did Last Summer was written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream. So there was kind of a thing where it was like it from the writer of Scream, and then you're like, oh, from the writer of Scream, so it's going to be really clever and funny and meta. And then you're like, oh no, this is just some teenagers getting slashed. This is kind of just more of the same.
it's a classic teenage slasher that, I I'm doing this, but it's a classic teenage slasher. And I was going to say, my theory
Freddie
on
Prinze Jr.'s
why,
back.
and yeah, I was going to say, Freddie Prinze Jr. needs a job, so come on, he needed to be in something. But I was going to say, the reason why it may seem like, oh, that film was a bit naff back then is because that concept has been copied and pasted and copied and pasted
Very
since
true.
then, and it's kind of been like, oh, that's an old trope that's a bit rubbish. But classic, like 2000s, was it 2000s or was it 90s actually,
Late
wasn't it?
90s.
Late
90s,
90s,
yeah.
98, yeah, of course. So yeah, it
is a
those
problem.
slashers hit different to like the classic 80s or 70s
Yeah.
slashers.
Yeah.
I
And
do.
yeah, so now like whenever you see something that's kind of similar, it just feels
Yeah.
like it's been diluted and diluted, but it was diluted from that diluted film.
Yeah. I do think too, we've had a lot of sort of trauma horror or like grief horror.
Mm.
So then when we've had like just a traditional slasher poke through, like Heart Eyes, which I completely forgot to say earlier that we've had a release this year, that slapped. It was a
Was it
really,
good?
really good film. I really loved it because it was just a simple slasher crossed with a simple rom-com. That's it.
I remember
Really, really
that.
simple premise, focused more on its kills and how it looked. And I think it did really, really well at what it was trying to do for that reason. So that's where I think this could do really well. We haven't really had many just
You need a
simple slasher
balance.
films recently. Yeah, we do. And like I've said a couple of times, like sometimes you just want something to not really think about the
Yeah.
themes or
Yeah.
what they're trying to speak about. I just want to see teenagers get killed.
But
Yeah,
That's it.
they can't all be Hereditary and the Babadook talking about motherhood
Exactly.
and the deep metaphors of racism and sexism. Sometimes a teenager's got to get stabbed in the tits. It's got to happen. People need it. That's why I quite like the Michael Bay produced Friday the 13th. It's like here's some teenagers.
Yeah.
They're taking their clothes off, and then guess what? Derek Mears is there, and he's got a big old knife.
They're always horny as well. They have to be
They are
horny,
horny.
surely. Yeah.
it's the
They are
rule.
horny. That's why I like it because they're horny.
The worry here, what I've just read is was co-written by the person that wrote For Love and Thunder. That is a big worry for me.
I
I have
quite
not
liked
seen it.
Law.
Hello. Yeah, there's a different film then. You're
I
thinking of
quite, I love Law. No, I was I like Thor, Love and Thunder. I know I'm in the minority on that one, but I appreciated that
I
film.
really
I
didn't.
liked it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought
Well,
it was
we'll see. We'll see how this one goes.
when we
I'll
do it
definitely watch it.
when we do an MCU rundown podcast, we can have that debate.
Do we
All
have to do that one?
65 million of them.
Yep. And yes, you do. You have to be here for that.
Of
I'm
course,
not
I've got
coming
to
for that
fight.
one.
We'll
You'll
get
have to
someone
drag
else.
me kicking and screaming to do that one.
You're the deputy. You must look.
You must. You must.
I'll quit.
Yeah. What was the other films listed that are coming out? Sorry.
Together on August
Yes!
1, which does seem like it's going to be like sort of a relationship, grief, trauma, horror. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, The Toxic Avenger, which I think is just gore, gore,
Yeah, it's
gore.
a trauma movie, isn't
Funny,
it?
it is a trauma movie. I'm
That's
really
probably
excited
why.
for it. I never got to see it because I covered Fantastic Fest this year, but I didn't get a screener for it.
Oh,
But I remember
no.
people coming out of the screen of it like, horror film of the year. This is
Really?
fantastic. It needs to be on your radar. And the fact that they were saying like, oh, it's unreleasable and they couldn't get anyone to take it on for so long makes me think it's either absolute dog shit
Yeah.
or or it's wild. And I mean, it could be a combination of the two. And if it is, perfect. That's what I want. I want like a midnight movie sort of
Yeah.
dumb Terrifier-like release this year because we haven't got a new Terrifier this year. So
Well, we got Screamboat.
yes, yes, we did. I haven't actually seen that, and I have seen people say that it's better than the normal Winnie the Pooh versus Bambi kills Cinderella bullshit that we're getting every other week. But
Wait, Bambi kills Cinderella. That's
I
a film that
don't
should have been
fucking
made.
know.
Is that the,
We'll
That's a film
pitch
that
it
should
and
be
we'll
made.
get 3.
The Pooniverse.
is that
Yes.
the Popeye one? No.
Oh, that's another one.
There's
See,
a
Oh
Popeye
my
one.
God, there's a
they're so
Popeye one as
bad.
well. Don't come
As I've
after
just
Popeye.
been slagging off Marvel, horror's just as bad.
I just
Popeye the Slayer, man.
That's that. Yeah.
Hey.
I might watch
the
that.
problem with all those, because it's to do with them being in the public domain,
Yeah.
is that
Mhm.
I feel like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. I'm like, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Absolutely.
You were so
Although,
preoccupied with whether or not you could, you didn't stop to think if you should.
yeah, but Bambi
Yeah,
killing Cinderella,
exactly it.
that's something that should happen.
Yeah, I've seen
Disney-
that accidentally.
Or any other princess that's in public domain. I'm sure it's a fairy tale. You could kill any of them if you wanted, and Bambi's available now. Why isn't that being made? But I was going to say on Toxic Avenger, so I don't know if anyone remembers, there was a South African film called Street Trash that came out. I can't remember if it was end of last year. Yeah, so this one was deemed absolutely disgusting to the point where people were walking out. But it still got released, and it got released here on digital only, so no cinema. But this is what I'm very interested to know who took on Toxic Avenger, like who's distributing it.
It's Cineverse in the US, and I think it's them here too. I think, but that might
Interesting.
be wrong. But I'm excited just because Elijah Wood's in it. He's a freaky little dude. He picks some weird, weird films. He's a freaky little dude in Yellow Jackets. He's a freaky little dude in Maniac. He's a freaky little dude in The Greasy Strangler.
He's
Can't wait.
He's a freaky, very little dude in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Exactly.
With his big old hairy toes. No, but
He's
the
not
thing is,
that
when people
freaky in
go,
that. Okay.
when people go, oh, it's the goriest, most disgusting film ever. Like they were handing out like vomit bags for Terrify 3. I watched Terrify 3. It wasn't that bad. Like,
It's the
No.
hype. It's
Yeah.
the hype.
yeah. No,
you know?
it's so disgusting. People were vomiting, and it's like maybe they were just unwell before they saw the film. Maybe the film had no effect. Maybe they just had norovirus. Like, you don't know.
Food poisoning.
Hey, it
Yeah.
could be one that does it. I watched a film recently that I am doing a review for, The Ugly Stepsister. That made me gag. I had to pause it and take a couple of minutes. There's a scene in that that got me good, and I know it got a couple of other people. So sometimes the hype's right because I asked to review that because I'd seen so many people say how disgusting it was.
I guess. I mean, to be fair, I found the substance hard going, but I don't like needles, so I was just like, too many needles, don't like needles.
I don't know. It depends. Melting Faces, that was Street Trash. Melting Faces, Melting Bodies, that's going to have to be out. So if the Toxic Avenger is like pouring acid on everybody, I don't think I'll be watching that one.
There's a film with Casey Affleck, I think, and Jessica Alba that made me feel. It's not a horror film, but he basically just punches her
He's
repeatedly
a
in the
serial.
face.
He's a killer,
The-
right?
Yeah,
The
The
killer,
killer
the killer
inside
in
me.
yeah,
The killer
and
inside me.
that made
That
me
was
feel
gross.
just
Yeah.
sick. Like my stomach, I almost had to walk out of that one, just in case anyone's looking for films that make them sick. I recommend that one. I made me
Films
just
that
feel
make you go, ugh.
Yeah.
That one was, yeah. I heard about how violent yeah, there is some violence that will just make you go, no, I can't do
Yeah.
that.
Also, I guess it's context as well.
Yeah.
Like if it's
Yeah.
realistic,
Yeah, it was
so
realistic.
like Nil by Mouth is like horrifically violent because it's just a husband beating the shit out of his wife. Whereas like I can watch like a Saw film where people have their heads ripped open and I'm like, do it again. More,
Yeah.
more blood.
I think because there's the scene in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Either version I cannot sit through because I just it's a particular scene where it's I don't want to say what
Yeah.
it is.
I think I watched it with my in-laws.
Yeah,
Uh,
I watched that with my nan and my
yeah.
aunt and uncle, and I told them I'm leaving the room, and I warned them previously. I was like, "Look, I'm going to leave the room at this point. You can skip it, and I can just tell you what happens because it's really awful." And they were like, "That's fine." So I left the room, and they were like, "Why did you make us watch that?"
You
Because the
didn't
bit with
make them.
the bit with the
It's
tattoo is so satisfying.
Paul can't watch it because of the needles of tattoos. It's
Yeah.
horrific.
Despite the fact that I have tattoos.
it's when she's getting revenge on him later. Fine to watch that, but it's the
Yeah.
initial scene
Very
that
satisfying.
sets
when it
things in
happens.
motion, or kind of
Yeah,
sets things in
no, that's
motions.
fair.
Where I was like, I can't watch this bit. But also, I was going to say violence against one's own self. I know I mention it every time, but in You Were Never Really Here, when Joaquin Phoenix is pulling out his own teeth, that
Brutal.
is number one of the top, definitely top five bits where I was like, oh my God, I can't sit here and watch this. Everybody was screaming, and this guy was bashing in heads with a hammer earlier in the film. So I'm just like, we're all sitting there very
Yeah,
comfy.
Yeah. I don't watch it. I'm getting a good list of films not to watch. Thanks, everyone.
Well, speaking of lists,
Yeah.
Speaking of the list, I'm going to band another three together now because we're getting to the end of the year. It's a little bit thin on the ground for cinema release at the minute. We
We don't know
haven't got all
yet.
the festival releases yet. I haven't included all the streaming releases on this. There's tons more, but purely cinema. So on September 5th, we've got another Conjuring film. We've got The Conjuring Last Rites, which is a sequel to 2021's The Devil Made Me Do It. We've got Ed and Lorraine Warren, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga again, but this time we've got Ben Hardy as Tony Spera, their son-in-law, and Mia Tomlinson as Judy Warren, their daughter. It's going to be a whole family affair. Then on September 26th, we haven't got Saw 11 anymore, unfortunately, as it looks like that's not going to happen anymore. But we have got The Strangers Chapter 2, which will be the follow-up to The Strangers Chapter 1, which was also a reboot of the 2008 original. And then on October 17th, we have yet another sequel. We've got The Black Phone 2 from Scott Derrickson. We haven't got an official synopsis about this yet, but from CinemaCon this week, a lot of journalists were coming forward and saying that the grabber's going to go full Freddy Krueger and he's seeking revenge on kids from beyond the grave and makes them sort of hallucinate their own deaths. So that sounds very interesting. We're sort of getting into era of the sequel and the reboot towards the
Yeah.
end of the year, which we've constantly got horror fans complaining about reboots and sequels, and yet they're making them because we're going to see them. So, what do you guys think about these that are coming?
I will need to watch all of. No, actually, I've not seen the Black Phone, but I'm gonna have to watch the Conjuring and Strangers. So I've not seen them either. So I'm gonna spend all of the end of the year just watching all these films just to go to the cinema to see something.
The Strangest Chapter 1 is absolute trash. Trash shit.
Selling that.
The original is awesome, but the remake is
because didn't they shoot
bad, bad.
all three, like chapter 1, 2, and 3, back
They
to back
did.
before they'd
That's what I
released
should
the
have
first
mentioned.
one?
Yeah, there's a part 3 coming.
But so they, what's hilarious is that they were like, "Oh, we'll be really economical. We've got Rennie Harlin, and we're going to shoot these 3 movies back to back." And then they released the first one, and it was dog shit, and no one went to go see it. And now they're stuck with 2 more fucking movies nobody cares about. And Rennie Harlin, bless him, he seems like a cool dude, but he makes absolute pup movies. He made the Exorcist: The Beginning. Like, that's awful. He made Die Hard 2. It's not even a very good Die Hard.
Wait. Die Hard 2 is actually much better than people give it credit for.
Yeah, it's not as
He
good
did
as
Deep
Die
Blue
Hard with
Sea as well,
Avengers.
didn't he, Rennie Harlin? I love Deep Blue Sea.
But Deep Blue Sea is good. Deep Blue Sea is
This
good.
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
But he also did Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Yes, Dream Master.
Yeah, that one is okay.
But we're getting this instead of Saw 11. That's what I wanted because I loved Saw X. I thought that was great.
It was so it was so good. I love the Saw franchise. I love it so much. I I love Saw. I love everything about Saw. I like the 2 video games. I like Saw the Ride. I did the escape. I reviewed the escape room for Filmhounds. It was amazing. It was like being in a Saw movie. And FYI, I'd be one of those idiots that dies.
Yeah, David looks confused. So what's happened basically is an
Yeah,
insider came out and told, I think it was Bloody Disgusting that reported the exclusive. They were saying that basically Saw 11's not happening now because of like behind the scenes issues. It's just sort of never got out of the pre-production stage to production. Because originally this was slated for September, like Saw 11 was slated for September 2016, and now it's been pulled from the Lionsgate calendar full stop. So it sort of looks like it's not going ahead.
That's a bit boring though. Like a reason why it's cancelled.
One of the rumors. Well, one of the rumors I heard that it was because obviously Tobin Bell's an older gent, he's like 80, and apparently because Saw X was like all about him, whereas all the previous ones he's very much a supporting character. That one had him very much at the forefront. Apparently, it was quite draining for him, and it's been 3 years. So he's like 83 or something. So to front a movie, but I was a bit like you could do one where it's about Carrie Elways as Dr. Gordon, and then just have him as again, go back to that thing of flashbacks where he's a secondary character. But if they never do a Saw film, Saw X is a good one to end on because I thought Saw X was it was phenomenal. I loved it. I thought it just everything I like about the Saw franchise was there. It was just great.
Yeah.
It was, and I'm looking forward to the Conjurings because I like them.
Yeah, they're just easy to watch. I mean, I'm not a massive Conjuring fan. I love 1 and 2. Everything afterwards and the spin-offs and everything, I'm not a
I think
huge
2 is
fan,
better than
but
1.
oh yeah, I 100% agree. It's
2
great.
is actually, I would say, one of my favorite romance films. I actually think it's a deeply romantic film, and
It's a really underrated film.
the thing that works about those Conjuring films is that even Devil Made Me Do It, I didn't think was great, but Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga have amazing chemistry.
So
So
good.
no matter what's happening, I buy into it because I buy that those 2 people are devoted to each other. So I am looking forward to Last One. Not.
Is the second Conjuring film the one about the Crooked Man?
Yeah, Crooked Man's in it. They go to London, and you can.
Is it based on the Enfield haunting?
That's the one.
Yes,
yeah.
that's the one. Yeah.
So I was actually interested to watch that. So full disclosure, I've not seen any of the Conjuring films. Any of what was the other franchise? I've not seen basically any of the franchise.
None.
No, not seen any of these things. The only thing I did see was the Black Phone, which I did enjoy, and I don't see how they could do a sequel, but we'll see.
No, nor do I. So.
But as I said, because but I was interested in seeing the second Conjuring film just because I was interested in that story. Obviously, it's thinly veiled, like it's not exactly going to be about the actual Enfield haunting.
They do appear, the Enfield people, though. Maurice Gross is in it, Anita Gregory. So all the people that were involved in it are in the film. But obviously they upplay
the Crooked Man. Yeah.
Well, what is quite funny is that it's set in London, and you can tell it's set in London because they show you shots of London, and then they play "London Calling" by the Clash.
Of
course they do.
So in
That's
London,
how you prove. So
it's you got to see Big Ben and Tower Bridge, and it's London Calling because it's London in it.
But the thing is, it's in Enfield, which is just outside of London, or like on the edge.
London in it though. It's London.
Oh, technicalities, guys.
It's very helpful.
It is. I think there should be more things like that. Like if it's set in New York, you got to play like "I love New York." So you got to do it.
I think
Well,
that, how to play something, you have to play a very stereotypical song from that place.
Shipping up to Boston if it's set in Boston, Beverly
Yeah.
Hills if it's set in Beverly Hills.
I was gonna also say like how there's a lot of franchises. It's franchise
There
city out
is.
here. There's very few, or by the sounds of it, original. Okay, it's hard to make anything original, but there sounds like to be very few horror films that could just potentially be standalone and not have the ability to be what the franchise. That's what I'm getting, and obviously because I haven't seen a lot of these films.
yeah.
So.
We're gonna
All
have
I
to
would
watch.
say
We're gonna have
is
to have a marathon, Katie, of all these films.
Well,
I've,
I'll just drop another bomb on this. I've never seen, or at least I don't think I have seen any of the Saw films.
I've seen Saw 1.
I love the sort of films, but
they're
I do
great.
agree. There's a lot of like, it feels like sort of the nostalgia bait. It's a lot of like reboots of 90s and noughties franchises, or like most recent titles that got a lot of buzz, just getting a sequel in to make it a franchise to get that merchandise. And
It,
it's a shame when you consider some of the standalone titles we had last year, like Long Legs, as much as I didn't really like it, The Substance, we had Cuckoo, these films that were just a story on its own that did wild numbers, with the exception being Smile 2, because obviously that did crazy numbers as well, and that's in a franchise, same with Terrifier 3. But it is strange. But then these are just the titles we've got at the moment. We still, like
that's
I
what
say,
I
we've
was
still
going to
got
say.
the streaming titles that I've not included in this, then we're still going to have the festival buzz of the titles that come from that.
The
So
ones that
I
don't
don't
get like a
know.
release date till close, because obviously when you're
I
looking
was
at
gonna
like
say, yeah,
October, that's just the franchise stuff that the studio locks in a date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually before they've made the movie, they're like, Black Phone 2 comes out in 3 years.
it was
Figure
announced a
out,
while ago as
yeah,
well.
they're like, Black Phone 3 is coming out in 2027. Figure out what it's about. Like, so they do that sort of thing. I know what you did last summer 11 is coming out in a year. Figure out what the story is. Whereas,
yeah.
that's why we had a Saw locked in release date before they'd figured out what the movie was going to be. Whereas all the smaller ones, like, the Cuckoos and the Long Legs type films, to be fair, there's probably a Long Legs type film being filmed right now and will
Oh,
be released
I
in
hope so.
September on the Sneaky Sneaky. And then suddenly, like, I didn't hear anything about The Substance until maybe September. And then suddenly it was like a big awards movie. And I was like,
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this film
Can,
until
man.
like
You got to look out for Can. Can has some sneaky horror and genre films that will be released. So, telling you now.
first I heard of it was when I went to see Trap. When I saw Trap, and then there was a trailer for The Substance. And then I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit weird. And then suddenly it's like, it's going to win Best Picture. It's like, I only heard of it 20 minutes ago, and suddenly I have to have seen it.
Talking of Trap, I really like that. I think I said this before. I want to watch it again. I
Do
know
you know what?
it's kind of
I would
terrible,
watch
but
it again as
yeah,
well.
no one wants to watch it with me. I've said this is quite a good film.
I disagree that it's good. I just said I'd watch it again
It's
because I
fun.
was like, it's
It's
easy to
it's
watch.
quite fun.
I've got a versus film. Who, like, horror versus, like Freddy versus Jason. Lady Raven versus Sky Riley from Smile 2.
Or
I love
throw in
that.
a third versus John Malkovich from
Uh,
From
Opus.
Opus.
What a tour.
The
Tickets
I would
coming
three-way
this
watch.
fight.
summer.
I would watch that.
I'm not
Also,
watching
Smile
that film.
2.
I
Smile
would.
2 was such a surprise because I thought Smile 1 was quite bad. Not bad. Bad's a harsh word. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was absolutely mediocre. And then Smile 2, I was like, oh shit,
Yeah, it's a
is
banger.
this good? Is this good?
Can I skip Smile 1 and just watch
Yeah,
Smile
you
2?
can.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
absolutely.
can. You
Okay.
might not understand what Kyle Gallner's doing. Gallner.
No,
Oh,
I read it on
you can
Wikipedia.
just look at his face and it's fine.
Do you know what's happening is he's in a horror movie, and do you know what happens when Kyle's in a horror movie? It don't end well for Kyle.
Not all of that. You know what? That's another rabbit. That's a rabbit hole. That's another podcast episode we can do. Have you
Write
been?
the article for the next issue.
Oh
We've got one.
yeah.
We have got an article on the website right now
We
about Kyle Corner and when he
we
survives and
do.
doesn't
We
doesn't
do.
survive
We
horror
do.
films.
I
Oh yeah, we
remember. I
do.
remember.
Yes.
I remember editing it, and I enjoyed reading it very much because poor Carl.
And this brings us nicely to the end of the year. We've only got 2 titles at the moment, ending the year. In November, we've got Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. We haven't got a set date for this yet. We just know that it's going to be November 2025. Crazy cast with Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, Charles Dance. It looks nuts. We all know the story of Frankenstein. We all know what we're going to get.
Who's the
There's also
monster?
another Jacob Elordi.
Hmm.
That's
So
unfortunate.
it's not the only
Well,
Frankenstein
Christoph-
film we've got coming as well, actually. We've got The Bride coming on March 6th, 2026.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
other than that, we have also got
That picture of Christian Bale. Not the one. Not
no.
the, hashtag not my Frankenstein's monster. It looks like Jared Leto's Joker. He looks like Jared Leto's Joker. He looks like an edgelord. But Del Toro, yes, please. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Then the last title we've got so far is Five Nights at Freddy's 2 on December 5th, following the 2023 film Five Nights at Freddy's, based on the game franchise. And then apparently this film is based on the events of the second game, which again, we don't have an official synopsis for the film yet, but the game is based on Jeremy Fitzgerald begins working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The employees sort of explain about the animatronics, their facial recognition software. They start badgering him. We think kids have been killed there. Very much the same sort of thing we get in all of the games. I won't go into the lore because it's ridiculously complicated. I've played them for years and I still don't really understand what's going on in them. But hey ho, we've got Matthew Lillard returning. What more can you want? So, what are people thinking about the last 2 big horror titles we've got in the 2025 calendar?
Good
I
year for
mean-
Scooby-Doo fans.
Excited for Frankenstein. That should be epic, really, shouldn't it? But
Yeah, it's gonna be
Five
good.
Nights at Freddy,
Oh,
I don't know anything about. I'm not interested about it. Someone emails the Filmhounds email because we put the date up today, questioning if it was true. So, I was like,
Yes.
This-
No, we've made it up.
like, where did you get this information from? Mind your own business.
I went with former editor-in-chief Jasmine Valentine to see the press screening of the first Five Nights at Freddy's, and I fell asleep.
Yeah, I am not a huge fan. I love the games, but
I thought
didn't
I
like
thought
the
the film was
film.
shite. I thought it was awful, boring. Also, it wasn't 5 nights; it was like 7 nights.
Incorrect days.
Bullshit.
You're still
I was gonna
fuming. Fuming.
Yeah, man. 5 nights too many. That's what I call it. 5 nights too many.
I liked
Yes.
Willy's Wonder World or
Yeah.
Wonderland.
Willy's
which was
Wonderland.
the
That's the
knockoff
Five Nights
of
at Freddy's
that.
film we deserve.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I get terrified by animatronics, but that have lives of their own and have killers inside them. But I thought this was fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I watched it by myself at night, which is big for me. Horror films is usually a day activity.
I just,
Are you scared, Katie?
if you're
Yes, always.
I thought you were brave, like me.
Do you know what? I am scared of certain things. Like I said, animatronics, clowns, and the apocalypse and cannibals.
Fair enough.
and to be fair, when the apocalypse comes, cannibals are usually there. So that's very, and clowns are all. I'm saying this now. All clowns are cannibals. All of it. All clowns are cannibals. I'm comfortable saying that, and you can put this in the thing. All clowns are cannibals. Fact.
I'm gonna update the Wikipedia. Then it's a fact.
Put it in the next issue. Just editors note: all clowns are cannibals.
I think you got right. I think you got right an article on this, Paul. To be honest,
I will say, as a horror fan and a Scooby-Doo fan, Freddie Prinze Jr. is back. Matthew Lillard, Sarah Michelle Gellar's doing Buffy. Linda Cardellini's playing Pamela Voorhees in the Friday the 13th series. If you like horror and you like Scooby-Doo the movie, like Paulie K does, it's a good time to be alive.
When we're getting a new Scooby-Doo film, that's what I want to know. When are they reuniting for Scooby-Doo?
When I hunt them, when I let them out of my basement to shoot it. They've
I know they're getting
resorted
a
to
live action
cannibalism.
series, but I need a return to Monster Island.
Yeah, I quite like those
I
movies actually. They were fun and
love
unexpected.
them.
Rowan
I
Atkinson,
wish-
just throw him in there as well. That'd be great.
Oh, he's so. I'm not going to get into it.
A
He's
perfect
great.
film.
Mystery. I can't even. I'll do the whole film. I'll act it out as a one-man show. It's great.
What I
Anyway.
actually want is them to get rid of some of these sequels and just re-show the Scooby-Doo films in cinema.
Prince Charles do a
Second that.
Scooby-Doo double bill night a lot. Like every
I'm
couple of
there.
months, they do the Scooby-Doo double bill, and it's a hoot and a half. And then there's me crying at the end. At the end of Scooby-Doo the movie, there's me crying. Anyway, we've got off on the horrible Scooby-Doo. There's a different podcast.
I feel like you've got a book in you, Paul, about this one. Freddie Prinze Jr. Not Scooby
Each
Doo.
cast member gets a chapter.
Oh my god,
A volume.
Rowan and I could as well because anyway, God, I love those films, and I love horror films, and Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein's going to be best movie ever. Can't wait.
I'm so
I'm
glad that's
excited.
finally got a cinema release. I'm gutted that was originally just going to be straight to streaming. Because when you've got a cast like that, when you've got a budget and a director like that, why are we wasting the cinemas we've got across the UK?
Mhm.
Who's releasing it?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Because
sure.
that might play into why it was originally going to be streaming. So so I'm asking
Well,
these
it was
boring
going straight to
corporate
Netflix.
questions here. The
It was
general
going
public
straight to
do not
Netflix.
care.
Yeah, it is
Oh,
on
was
Netflix.
it? And
Yes.
that's interesting. Is it so Netflix? So they still could have it, but they're going to release it in cinemas first.
Hmm.
They really do that.
I'm hoping that because I know that Del Toro said he's going to go. He's only doing maybe one or two live action films, and then he's just doing animation. And I really hope that he can get Mountains of Madness off the ground because, like, Lovecraft is a problematic guy, but Mountains of Madness on the big screen, Del Toro style, Doug Jones doing some Doug Jonesy shit. I just need that film. I need it. And I know that he said he wanted to make it with Tom Cruise. And it's like, come on, president of movies. Do Mountains of Madness with Del Toro. Come on, man.
Can I ask if what you guys out of the old Frankenstein films recommend, so we can all prepare ourselves?
Young Frankenstein by Mel
the
Brooks.
comedy.
I'd say Bride of Frankenstein. I really enjoy that, like the OG one.
Yes, actually, I agree with you
Really
because
good film.
Right,
I watched Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein for the first time ever in October last year. And yeah, the first Frankenstein film is a bit like, okay. But then Bride of Frankenstein is actually where all the, there's the one that everyone homages, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, now I really understand what people were doing in all their films. This is the one they're taking all their ideas from. But yeah, it's got a better atmosphere and a better story, weirdly enough.
I agree with both of those, but I'd also say Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein from 1994.
Very fun film.
Which Del Toro said the screenplay that Frank Darabont wrote was nearly perfect. And the only mistake I feel that film makes is they cast Robert De Niro as the monster. And I think that is a misstep that it should have been like Ron Perlman, like someone who's like big, but not Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much makeup they put on Robert De Niro, is Robert De Niro. Also, it's a bit weird because everyone in the film is English, except this like weird Bronx monster that's like, "Hey, Frankenstein, I'm watching you, Frankenstein." It's just a bit weird because it's like got like Richard Bryce and Ian Holm and John Cleese, and then there's just this like gangster version of the monster. Is a bit weird, but that is a great movie.
They took his brain from Robert De Niro and put it into Robert De Niro. so that's why he speaks like that. I
You broke the circle of trust, Frankenstein.
I just thought I watched animation. James Gunn, he did animation called Creature Commandos that has Frankenstein in it as well. It's
He does.
basically
Wait,
like
Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster?
Monster,
Frankenstein.
Monster and Frankenstein.
Yes.
Yeah, it has both, doesn't it?
Oh, it's
Frankenstein
got
does
both of them in
appear.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it
Yeah.
does. That's like
He's
a
voiced
whole
by-
episode.
Yeah, he's voiced by Peter Serafinowicz, is Dr. Frankenstein.
It's a bit like Suicide Squad, isn't it? The good one, not the
Yeah,
original.
Yeah, it's very much in the same vein
Yeah.
as the Suicide Squad.
And I guess Guardians of the Galaxy, but not as good. But it's still quite good.
Wait, there's one more Frankenstein version that you should definitely watch. Frankenweenie.
Tim Burton. Is it Tim
yeah.
Burton?
Yes, the Tim Burton stop motion animation, the film that everyone forgets about, but I watch religiously every Halloween.
It is alive.
I'm gonna watch it
It's
this
so
weekend.
cute.
And it's child friendly. So
Also,
there you
I
go.
Frankenstein with Aaron Eckhart as the monster fighting the demons. And
Why did you have to end it on a shit note?
no, it's great. I Frankenstein is great. No, it's not. It's terrible. But Frankenweenie is great. Your dog is alive. It's great. I love Frankenweenie, underrated.
Oh, and this is the last thing from me, but I'm hoping it's still open. But Tim Burton exhibitions happening at Design Museum. It's been there for months.
Yeah,
It's
I went
very-
for my
yeah.
birthday. It's really good.
That's
Really good.
I need to go.
It's very interesting. But the gift shop is very shit. There's not enough stuff. Not enough merch.
I bought so many books.
Not enough stuff or not enough merch to do with the Tim Burton movies you like. Why is there nothing to do with Big Fish? Where's all the Big Eyes merch? Why is there so much Nightmare Before Christmas? Where's
No,
Where's
I
all the
wanted
Pee-wee's
Frankenweenie
Big Adventure?
merch. I wanted
Where's
Frankenweenie
the-
merch.
Where's all the Mars Attacks merchandise?
That's what I wanted.
Just wanted more. But it's good. It's a
Where's
good
the
exhibition.
Ed Wood merch? Where's my Ed Wood Funko?
Oh my God, an Ed Wood Funko.
I need to check when it's. I bet it's like ending this weekend or something. So I need to go.
Well, I think it ends this month actually, because the Wes Anderson one, yes, that comes out or starts later on, I think. So it's sort of like Tim Burton ends and Wes Anderson begins. There's a plug for the Design Museum. There you go.
You're welcome, Design Museum. You're welcome.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, that brings us to the end of the calendar. So I was just wondering, Paul, Katie, and David, what films are you looking forward to? What would you say is the horror film that you're going to be watching this year? So I'll start with Paul because you're at the top of my screen.
Oh, hello. 28 weeks. Yeah, years later. Boots. Moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Can't wait.
Katie, what's your horror pick?
So it was going to be Death of a Unicorn, but seeing as that's past now, I'm literally. I would go for Bring Her Back, just because, like I said, I'm a bit fed up of all the franchises. So something new and original is what I'd really like to see.
David, horror expert.
Well, I'm seeing Death of a Unicorn tomorrow, so I'm not looking forward to that now. Thanks for hyping it up for me. But probably 28 years later, and if it's not too gruesome, Toxic Avenger sounds like it could be fun. Hopefully, it's more cartoony than realistic. How can it be? How can it be realistic?
Yeah,
And
I've got to go
Becky?
with Katie on
As I'm
this
saying.
one. Mine's definitely Bring Her Back. I love the Filippo brothers. I love Talk to Me. The trailer freaked me out, so I'd say that. But 28 years later is a very close second. Like, I love 28 years, and it's been so long since we've had like a big British horror hitting the cinemas and really making an impact. I really want to see it push those British titles forward because we've got a lot to offer.
So that's all we got time for on this edition of the Filmhounds podcast. Thank you for joining us. As you know, we are a print magazine. You can find details of where to get the latest issue with features involving Sean Baker and other fantastic reviews and features on the Filmhounds website, www.filmhounds.co.uk, where you can find more reviews, more features, more interviews, news updates, and all of our social channels, YouTube, Twitter/X, Blue Sky, TikTok. But until next time, we've had some fun today, and hopefully you've learnt something.
I've not learned anything, to be honest. But thanks, Paul.
I've learned
Oh my
plenty
God.
about you guys.
You need to get a life.
I do have a life. It's in Moomin Valley. I play Snufkin, and I'm very happy.